In an internet era of false glamour and success, entrepreneurship has been severely misconstrued. Here we are going to discuss the reality of being self-employed and what it takes to work for yourself. A conversation of building business, health, wealth, and relationships. Questionable thoughts for the modern-day entrepreneur. I'm your host, Tyler McCullough, and welcome to the Raw Entrepreneur Podcast. We got two cameras now. I should move that one over here because it's better quality. But I like talking. I like turning over here. So I'll go back and forth between the two cameras. As you can see, I got myself a nice set of headphones. I see all the podcast guys out here using headphones. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be like them. I'm a copycat. And you know what? I can hear myself now. And I know like this is too loud. And so I can kind of adjust, and figure out what sounds good. If I was to I can actually hear myself in my headphones. So now I know how y'all as listeners will be feeling if I'm screaming in your ear. So, kind of give some audio awareness. We're doing a podcast here, okay? Let's get this audio rolling good. As you can see, if you're looking at that, got a whiteboard up here. It has a to-do list. Nothing important. So I'll get to that tomorrow. I like to keep a to-do list because it brings my goals and what I need to be doing fit to reality, right? So I'm taking them, and actually my girlfriend does it for me because she's cool like that. It brings them from your head and puts them on a whiteboard or a piece of paper. Makes them physical instead of just imaginary, right? So welcome to episode 2. Happy to have you here. Really excited. It's going to be a good time. We are going to pick up where we left off last time, which is the story of Squatch dogs. We're going to discuss, where we started, what we went through, the lessons, or not really, not the lessons. You'll see the lessons from it, but this really just going to be the events that took place from where we started until now, and it's just straight business, straight Squatch dogs. We're going to be talking about. I'm going to read a little thing from my website because I wrote it when I was still in the beginning stages of Squatch dogs, and it's going to be cool to kind of look back and read about because I obviously know more about what was going on back then because I was being present. Right now I'm trying to look at the past, and it's a little more fuzzy. So it's good to be able to have something physical that I can read because, yeah, I'm glad I did it. So let's do this thing, baby. Episode 2. I got a little outline here. We're going to go all the way back. Okay, all the way back. Like I said in the last episode, my hobbies, one of them included snowboarding. My main one. I loved snowboarding. Snowboarding is still my favorite thing to do. It gets me away. It gets me present. Okay? When you're on the snow, when you're on the top of a mountain, when you're about to drop into some crazy-ass line, you have to be not thinking about anything else. And it kind of takes the anxiety, takes the worry, takes the thought about anything else, throws it out the window because you have to be in the moment right now, or else you'll eat shit and die. Maybe a little drastic, but it's true. It takes all the worries away and puts you in the moment right now, which I love, and I'm striving to do, and right now and today, because you're not snowboarding all the time. It's good that your being is at its finest when you are being present here right now, because we always form these make-believe versions of ourselves in our heads because we think too much and we base ourselves off of our past, but our past isn't happening anymore, okay? And our future hasn't happened yet. So the only thing you have right now is the present, and if you put your entire self in it, then you will be very pleasantly surprised as to what you can learn about yourself. Anyways, back to the story. We're going all the way back, okay, to snowboard camp at High Cascade at Mount Hood, Oregon. Okay, back at Mount Hood, Oregon, I went to snowboard camp. Okay, that's where we're going to. There was this hot dog trailer, and I had never heard about it until I went there. Actually, no, I did, because I was watching crazy amounts of videos, and I know Scott Stevens loved Cobra Dogs. Okay, this place is called Cobra Dogs. I don't think it's bad for me to say the name because I'm supporting them. Okay, Cobra Dogs is the first hot dog stand or hot dog joint that I've ever seen. Okay, and I was 15 at the time, and I had never had cream cheese on a hot dog, and I was pumped to be at High Cascade. And you can only get Cobra Dogs at High Cascade. It's exclusive, or unless you go there to the High Cascade camp, but not a lot of people do. Okay, so it's exclusive. It's really, you can't get them anywhere. Okay, so I, being the little excited dude that I was, trying to make the best of this camp because it was only a week long, I get a Cobra Dog every goddamn day, dude. And they're banging. And I was like, why would you put cream cheese on a hot dog? This is the first time I ever had that. And I tried it because everybody else was doing it. And they said, oh my God, it's good, dude. You should try it. So I tried it, and I was like, oh my God. And they had the Cobra sauce. And that was good on it too, dude. And I loved it. And it was an incredible experience. And it's just hot dogs. But it's something... It's just something that you don't find any time. Like it's a rarity. So it was just really cool for me to be so like infatuated with a place to eat, and everybody got a Cobra Dog, and they did super good, I'm sure. And they're still down there. They're still rocking and rolling in the summer times at High Cascade. But that's where, and I never thought that I would ever own one. I just thought that it was freaking sweet. And so fast forward, I go home from camp. I not hard to make some. I got cream cheese. I had my mom buy some cream cheese, some Costco dogs, and some buns. And I tried to make my own Cobra Dogs. And, they didn't turn out the same because they're not the same. But I tried. Okay, so I liked them that much. I liked them so much that I brought it home. I told my mom, I said, Mom, I need to make these. These are bomb. I want to make the cream cheese hot dog. And she's like, all right. So that's kind of where my love for wieners was initiated. Okay. Now fast forward, which this is crazy because I had no idea. I didn't know I was ever going to be in this situation. And so I'm graduating, right? And it's the last day of school, and I'm doing running starts, so I get off early. But my community college that I was going to had already got out. The quarter had already ended, so I didn't have anything to do after I got out of school early. That was just my last day, and I was just kicking it, dude. And so I brought a grill because I knew I wasn't going to go to class after I got out of this class. So I brought a grill. I got out at lunchtime, and I just posted it up in the back of my Jeep. I had a Jeep Grand Cherokee. Popped the trunk up, popped the back. I brought a little propane grill, and I put on my Snapchat, hey, if you want a hot dog, come out to the Jeep and grab yourself one. They're free. And I had a line, dude. I had a line. All my friends wanted hot dogs, and I had the security guard he actually came out and told me, no, I'm not allowed to do this because there's too many people leaving their classrooms to come get a hot dog from me because they were free. I just bought a bunch of hot dogs, buns, and a grill. And it was just a little hot dog party out in the parking lot on the last day of school. It was badass. And that was my first time ever vending hot dogs. And at the time, I never even thought, oh my God, I could be charging money. I mean, I did think about it, but like I never thought, ooh, maybe I could do this as a business in the future. You know? And it's funny because I was vending hot dogs, but I didn't even know it. And so that's where my love for wieners came from, man. It starts from a young age. Okay, I've always roasted them over the fire, you know. I'm just a wiener guy, I guess. So yeah, I just thought I'd share a little bit about that. Now I'm kind of gonna go over where it started. Okay, now obviously we ended where I had already started and all that kind of stuff in the last episode. But I'm gonna read this little excerpt from the website, and it's gonna go a little deeper, and I can kind of go deeper than the website does, kind of break it up into little chunks. But I haven't read this in so long, dude. It's been a while. But I'm on the website right now and read a little bit. What is Squatch Dogs? Okay, actually, I haven't really talked much about my business yet. A little bit in the last one, but hey, I'll just read you my website or if you want to go to it, it's squatchdogsnw.com. I repeat, it's squatchdogsnw.com. So I'm on the About Us page. Okay, and I'll just read to you. It'll be a little story time. Okay, so what is Squatch Dogs? We are a mobile food vending establishment serving and satisfying the public with our delicious dogs. We serve specialty, one-of-a-kind hot dogs for an unbeatable price. Okay, this was before we kind of upped the prices, so I need to go back and change this. But it's. I'm not breaking the bank here. I'm not breaking your bank. Okay, I'm not reaching in your wallet and stealing money. All right, but the price is maybe beatable by some people, but you don't get the experience, you don't get the taste, you don't get the flavor, you don't get the everything. Okay, we got it all, baby. That's why we can charge what we do, is because we the best in the business, son. We strive to be different in every way possible, create something that nobody has ever seen before. Innovation and self-expansion will continue to be the most important aspect. It's hard to read because the logo's behind it. The important aspect of this business, making sure our customers leave with a smile on their face and maybe a little bit of Squatch sauce on their mouths. Cute. There's a picture of me chilling in front of my tent when I first got it. I was so hyped, dude. I was so stoked. And that was fucking sick. That was like one of the best days. Dude, the hot dog party when I'll go over that in a little bit. Okay, next excerpt. How it all started, baby. The business started with an idea that sparked a train of ideas. I haven't edited this in so long. I don't want to. Okay, I probably should because there's, I'm sure, a bunch of typos and shit. But I'm not going to because I'm going to let it sit forever. And then when I'm 85 years old, I can go back and look at it. It's like a time machine or a time capsule. Hoping to... What was once a short bus that I received for graduation, hoping to fix it up and make it across the country, and make it a cross-country tiny house, turned out to be the seed of Squatch Dogs. So the short bus that I got it for my graduation gift. My parents bought me a short bus because that's what I asked them if they could buy me this short bus. Because when I graduated, I wanted to renovate it into a little camper and take my friends and travel all around the country. And it was going to be dope. because we were just going to go national park to national park to national park to national park, going all around the country, having a good old time. Didn't know how we were going to make money. Didn't know how we were going to pay for food. But, we're high school kids. Or I was a high school kid, and I pulled the trigger on it because I'm always that guy who fucking does the shit that no one else wants to do. And so I bought the bus, and then nobody helped me renovate it, and nobody helped me do anything. They just, when I finished it, they wanted to be a part of it. And it never happened. So it just was sitting in my parents' driveway, or not driveway, but over by the pump truck for years. Okay. And that turned out to be the seed of Squatch Dogs, okay? So let me read on. After watching a tremendous amount of business from a hot dog vendor outside of a bar in Seattle, which I was working security. Okay, so at the Ryan House in Seattle, there's a little hot dog joint right next to it. And I would stand on the stoop and check IDs and kick people out and do what bouncers do. Stand on the stoop. We'd take shifts, so I was out there quite a bit. It was cold. But I was homies with the hot dog guy, and he'd give us free hot dogs after we worked. And they were good. Okay, they were good, but might have better. But yeah, I mean, and I kind of over-exaggerated a little bit. He didn't give me too much business advice. It was the employee there. But, he was a homie. And, I asked him about, like, the cost of, like, how much profit is in it and all that kind of stuff. And just talked to him. We were good friends. So, not good friends, but, like, we were homies. Dapped each other up when I got to work. And we're like, yo, what's up, dude? He's like, yo, what up, Tyler? I'm like, hey. That was stupid. So, yeah. After watching a tremendous amount of business from a hot dog vendor outside of a bar in Seattle, in which I was working security, I thought to myself, this is a very small startup cost for the amount of money you can make in this business. And it's true. I mean, that's not what made me think of it, but it's true, dude. Like, the amount of money it takes to do this is not much, especially compared to any other business, dude. Like, this is probably one of the lowest startup cost businesses that can make you six figures in the world, like, ever. So, I jumped on it. I'm like, holy shit, dude, this is dope. And there's fucking lines for this shit. I want a piece of that pie, baby. Give me some of that. I want a piece. Come on, share, bro. And so, planted that seed. Maybe I won't talk as much in between, because it's going to take too long. So I started my research. Okay, watching endless videos on remodeling a bus and how to make a food truck for cheap. Putting a new fuel filter and the starting... And starting the bus to make sure everything works properly. However, the bus was filled with seats and windows and walls. Not to mention the ceiling is only 6 feet tall. I used a metal grinder to grind off every single post and bolt out of the floorboards. It wasn't until I needed to cut windows, walls, and build a full interior frame, insulate and line with stainless steel, that I figured this project was going to be a little harder and more expensive than I thought. Driving to the gym on February 24th, I saw a food truck for sale on the side of the road. It wasn't a food truck, it was like a box van, like a UPS van. Pretty miraculous, huh? Just so happens that someone sells a big food truck style van while I'm starting a food truck business. So obviously I take this as a sign and check it out. $4,000. That's a steal. Manual diesel, 245,000 miles on it. However, it's gutted, and I would need to build a food truck within it, like my bus. But it's bigger and more reliable. I go to the bank to see what kind of loan I can get. Could definitely get approved, but doing more thinking, I'm not a professional, and I don't want to build from the ground up. I researched pre-built food trailers. Very expensive. Unless you have them make it in Georgia and have it shipped. Long story short, I talked to a company in Georgia for a few weeks to then go back to my bank and get a loan for this food trailer. My loan amount went from $4,000 to $25,000. Submit my application with a full business plan to my bank with a 730 credit score. That's high. Or at the moment, for me being a 21-year-old, that's high. So I feel like I would get approved, and I was super pumped, and the banks thought I was gonna get approved as well. So I was like, okay, well, fuck, now I gotta do it. I just took out 25 grand. When I leave, I did that. So, however, when I got home from the bank, I wanted to make sure that my credit is solid for when they pull it and run my application. The day before I applied for my loan, my credit score dropped 88 points, down to 642. Therefore, I got declined by my loan. I was devastated. All of what I've been working for months just went down the shitter, and there's nothing I can do about it. The only thing that could possibly stop me from buying this trailer just happened, and it was from a $5 late fee and an auto payment malfunction. But can't let some bullshit like that stop us from reaching our goals, baby. That's right. We don't just let some bitch-ass loan application prevent us from starting businesses, baby. We figure it out. We figure out different ways. Okay? A food trailer ain't the only way you can start a food truck. Just like a food truck ain't the only way you can start a food truck. Okay? There's other ways to do it. A food cart ain't even the only way to start a food cart or a food truck, because you can get there. Okay, but you don't have to start out with that. I could buy a food truck, but I don't want to because it's expensive, and it's nice because you don't have to deal with the weather. But I would rather buy a food trailer than a food truck, because food trucks break down and food trailers get towed by things like trucks, which you can have and buy more reliable than nasty old food trucks. So I was I already read that. So back to square one. Got bad credit, a good amount of money in my bank account from working 65 hours a week, and a computer. I found a guy named Ben that had made hundreds of videos on hot dog carts and the cart business. Hearing and studying him for 2 to 3 weeks and figuring out exactly what I need, I pulled the trigger and financed the cart for $2,500 down and a loan payment of $7,500. That means I bought that cart for $10,000. Shit, I forgot about that. Damn. I bought the nicest cart that he makes. It had all the bells and whistles on it. And because I could get approved for it. So I'm like, okay, if I'm going to take out a loan that I'm going to pay off over time, an extra $50 a month ain't much to get the nicest cart on the block, son. So I did it. I got the nicest cart. And it is sexy, baby. It's the set, dude. When it showed up, oh man, I creamed. It was crazy. I put it together, and because it comes with this film on it, so the stainless steel doesn't get scratched in the shipping. And when you just unwrap it, dude, oh man, it's like undressing a supermodel, okay, or your girlfriend that you love. So I then had to change my diaper because shit got real. It says that in here. I spent the next month and a half building Squatch dogs from the ground up. business license, health department, insurance, permits, LLC agreements, Department of Revenue, Secretary of State, marketing materials, tent, equipment, food supply, or finding food suppliers. There are countless things to do and still to be done. You're never done working. There is always something to do. It's true. You just have to think. Like, there's always something, dude. There's always something you can do. You don't have to do it, but there's always something that can be done. Okay, and if you want a successful business, you do everything in your power to make it the best that you can. And so there's always stuff to improve on, no matter what. Okay, you never stop working as a business owner. You don't. There's always improvements to be made, and you should be making them constantly. I received my cart on May 15th during Mother's Day weekend, built, cleaned, and ready to go within a week. All I need are my cart decals, and I'm ready for the streets. But in order to get my cart decals on, I need to take my cart to the shop. No insurance. My driving record prohibited any insurance company from insuring my cart for my business. However, my mom got the hookup, so a week later I'm insured and ready to go. Okay, I'd already been looking for gigs and contracts for a month. So 10 minutes after I got my decals on the cart, I went to my first gig at Imbibe Bottle House and Tap Room, which is where we are at now. This is where we're at Imbibe. It's like right when we started. Literally, like, yeah, it was like the day that I got back. I probably wrote this. I will keep this story here, possibly forever, because this is the start of something huge, and I will always want to remember and look back on how it all started. So yeah, it was nuts, dude. It was so cool. Oh, 1 second, my recording stopped on that camera. I need to figure this stuff out, man. Cameras be dying on me. Just shutting off for no reason, both of them. I don't know how these other dudes do it. What kind of cameras y'all got? Anyway, hope y'all enjoy that story. Little website blurb. It was cool, huh? I liked it. I like looking back on that and reading it. It's cool. But you obviously don't know the whole story because you're not me, so I gotta explain it. And that is a good way to do that, but there's obviously more that I didn't say in there. So, I mean, the short bus, it was gonna be such a bitch, dude. It was gonna take so much time, so much money, and I didn't know what I was doing. I was 21, okay, and I could follow as many videos as I wanted to. It's a lot of work. So, I said screw it, and you can't get a loan to just, you know, tell them you're gonna go. I mean, you can get a portion of loan. You're right. I mean, you can totally get a loan for it. Now, if I knew what I know now, then if I knew then what I know now, it would have been a whole different story. Okay, I would have done things a lot differently. But I didn't know because I'd never done it before. So it's kind of cool to look back and think about that kind of stuff. And the trailer, again, so expensive. I'm so glad that I didn't get approved for that loan because that would have been such a fat payment. And I mean, yeah, I would have been able to work in the winters and do different gigs, okay? But I would have been 25 grand in the shitter, which is only a little over double. It's 2.5 times 250% more, or 250% of what I originally got the loan for. So, you know, it wouldn't have been crazy difference. Probably would have been like $750 a month. My loan right now is $370, so double plus half, whatever, $800 a month. It's a lot of money. Okay, it's more than my rent is. So, gotta be making sure I'm making a lot of money with that. Yeah, so obviously there's more that goes into it than just the legal stuff. Okay, I had to come up with a whole business. I had to come up with Squatch dogs because that's what sells. Okay, I'm not gonna make any money if I just have a bunch of permits. Okay, So the first brand that I came up with, what like I got the cart, or I know this was before. This was before. I was thinking about this is when I was gonna get the trailer. I was gonna name it Raw Dogs. That's my first concept. My first brand concept was Raw Dogs. And it's not RAW, okay, not like the Rawtrepreneur, but it's like Ra as the Egyptian god of Horus, the Eye of Ra. Okay, it was gonna be Egyptian god themed hot dogs, and it was gonna be a play on words, and I was gonna call it Raw Dogs. But as you could probably guess, that's not too kid friendly. Okay, and a lot, not all, but like a third of my customer base is parents getting hot dogs for their kids, and so I was stupid for thinking that was a good idea, and I'm glad that people were like, dude, what do you can't, you think you're gonna go to baseball games and like little league baseball games and kids are gonna buy your hot dogs and their parents are gonna think, oh my god, you're eating a raw dog? No, you can't Timmy, you're not gonna go get raw dogged, Timmy. Okay? It's just not, it just wouldn't sell. So I had to throw away that took me like, because I designed a whole trailer. I'll put the image up on the screen. But I designed a trailer and I got all these logos made, and I had to just throw them all out because it's a stupid idea, dude. It's just like, that's not gonna work. It's too inappropriate. If you want to use it, go ahead. Raw Dogs LLC, do it, dude. See if you get any baseball games. It's maybe adult softball. There you go. Different crowd. Who's your target market? There you go. If it's someone that wants a raw dog, then fuck it, name it Raw Dogs. So I threw away that idea, and I actually went into business owner mode, and I'm like, shit, dude, who was I even attracting with that? Like, what kind of person would buy that? Obviously, I can't attract kids and stuff. So let's think here. Who is my target market? Like, who am I trying to get to buy my hot dogs? I want as many people as I can to buy my hot dogs, but marketing to everybody is like marketing to nobody. So you have to come up with a specific person that you're going to be selling to, and I'm selling to people who live in Washington and people who live in the Pacific Northwest. And people who live in the Pacific Northwest, they like the Seahawks, they like the Mariners, they like trees, they like hiking. What else do people in Seattle like? They like rain, obviously, or they wouldn't live here. Sasquatch. Dude, Bigfoot's a huge thing around here. And that clicked in my mind, and I was like, oh my god, dude, Squatch dogs. Squatch dogs, dude. And when I said that, it was almost like I was reminded. Right? It was like someone told me about Squatch dogs in the past, and the name just rolled off my mouth, off my tongue, like I had said it 1,000 times. Or not 1,000, maybe like 950. But it was just like, it was like deja vu, almost, which is awesome, dude. It's like and it was perfect. So I went with Squatch Dogs, and I was like, okay, well, my brand is a Squatch, so I have to come up with a bunch of stuff to make this theme pop, because this is a huge thing, and I got to do it big. Okay, I don't just half-ass my business stuff. Okay, at least my marketing and all that kind of stuff. I don't half-ass anything, if I'm going to be honest here. So I was like, what can I do? Okay, so Squatch, let's have Squatch's face be in front of a log, because that is like super outdoorsy. I used to want to start an outdoor brand. And so I've always liked the outdoors. I've always been an adventurer, and I wanted this to appeal to people who like to go outside, and people who like to go outside like trees, like wood. And so I put my Squatch's face. I got on Fiverr, and I found a dude who does dope art. And I said, hey, can you put... Yeah, I sent him a bunch of pictures of Sasquatch. And I said, can you put a Squatch eating a hot dog on a round? And I sent him like 20 pictures, some with the round of wood and some with like almost all of them with what a Squatch is, because he's from out of the country. I don't know if he knows what a Sasquatch is. So he comes back with this dope ass logo of a Squatch with a hot dog in his mouth. It's got like relish and like onions and shit on it, ketchup, mustard. And I liked it, okay, but it wasn't the one. And I knew that right when I got it. I'm like, fuck. Okay, I gotta come up with something else. So it wasn't catchy enough. You know, it wasn't something that you see and you think of a specific brand. Okay, and that's what I need. So then I'm like, okay, and then so I have him, and there's the classic walking Squatch, dude. That. Can you see that? This thing right here. Classic walking Squatch. And I sent him, another 4 or 5 pictures of the walking Squatch. I'm saying, hey, okay, can you put a hot dog in his hand and draw him, not just a silhouette? I don't just want a silhouette. I want an actual Squatch. Can you draw the Squatch that you drew in this one, but walking with a hot dog in his hand? And the first one he comes back to me with is how he's walking. Perfect. He looks fucking awesome, dude. The Squatch is badass. Got sunglasses on and everything, but he has the hot dog in his backhand, and it looks like he's gonna shove it right up his pooper. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know about having it be, in the backhand. Put it in the front, and then we'll talk. Okay, so he puts it in the front. It's fucking perfect, dude. Money. And he has a little yellow thingy in the back. It looks dope. Okay, that's like his signature. And I'm like, okay, well, that's badass. How can we make it even more badass? So I love motorcycles. I got a V-Rod, a Harley V-Rod. It's the engine. It's got the engine. It's a V-twin, but it was designed with Porsche, the motor company, the cars, Porsche. Harley and Porsche came together to create this insanely high torque, just fucking massive horsepower engine on a Harley, and it's like Harley sport bike. It redlines at $9,000. Most Harleys redline at like $4,500. It doubles that, and it's just a monster. I love motorcycles. Okay, so I'm like, okay, can you put him on a bike? Put him on a motorcycle, and you will be the best artist ever. And so he puts it on the motorcycle, dude, and he does a killer job. I don't even have to ask him to redo it or fix anything. It's literally perfect. This guy's a badass, dude. Freaking savage. And these are all like in the same 2 weeks. So it's all fresh. They all look really similar because of how close in time he drew them. So it's all perfect. And those are the logos, man. And so I put those logos on a tent, or design, put them in Photoshop. I got a deal with this dude who does canopies, fast canopies. Hit him up. He does great canopies. Got a deal with this guy. Sent him over my art. He sends me back the renders, and I'm like, fuck yeah, dude, get it. And I got 2 swooper flags. And my original plan, I was going to do organic buns. I went to multiple different bakeries because I wanted to have organic buns. It was one of the things that was going to be specifically my thing. And I was going to be the healthy hot dog. And so the first swooper flag I made had this cartoon ass. And it said organic buns. Didn't use it. That was stupid. Again, with the baseball game thing, I'm like, dude, why did I even think about that? I actually designed it and was gonna send it to him, but didn't do that. All right, we don't want to see no cartoon ass when I'm eating a hot dog. Okay? It's almost as bad as calling this joint raw dogs. That would be worse. So I get all my logos made and order this tent. The tent gets here and I'm like, oh, holy shit, this is real. Like, it's really going on, dude. I get tables. I get this whole vibe. Okay, I got camo tablecloths from this dope place, and the vibe is just killer. You know, like if I were to, and I built it for myself, right? So if I'm gonna go out and go to a event or just see any food truck or any food vendor, I'm like, what would attract me? Because obviously I want people like me, just like people like them. So if I can attract myself and know how I get excited about something, I want to instill that same feeling in someone else. So I just did what excited me, and it worked amazingly. So I get everything, I set it all up, I invite all my friends over, I got my cart, okay, and I come in, hold on, I'll go over the menu, okay. So I'm going back to my roots, all right. Remember how I said that I made Cobra dogs back in the day? I'm making new recipes now, all right. It all is based around that cream cheese, okay. But the thing about having a menu is just you don't just sell a hot dog. I mean, a lot of people do. A lot of people just do, oh yeah, hot dog, chips, and a drink meal, and that's their whole thing. Okay, which it works. It's been around for a while. Okay, I'm not knocking anybody for doing it, but I didn't want that to be all I do. Okay, so I thought about it. I want to do a chili dog. Okay, I want to do the Seattle dog, which is caramelized onions and cream cheese. Those are like my two bases, okay? And so I'm basing my value ladder, which I'll talk about that more in the future, off of, or I can even, I'll talk about it in the future, off of those two. Okay, so obviously the chili dog is going to be more valuable than the Bigfoot or the Seattle dog. And I named them all after Squatches, or types of names of Squatches. So obviously the chili dog is going to be more valuable than the Bigfoot or the Seattle dog. So then I have to have a Littlefoot or a regular sized dog, just a plain Jane dog, which is going to be below. Now what's going to be in between the Seattle dog and the chili dog? Oh, let's do, well, what are some names of Squatches? Oh, dude, the mythical creature called the El Chupacabra, bro. In Mexico, it's the Mexican Sasquatch, dude. And I'm like, okay, cool. Mexican Sasquatch. Let's add some jalapenos on there. Get some panes. And get some spicy queso. Yeah. With some cream cheese. It'll be like a jalapeno popper, bro. And on a hot dog? Yes. That's what I'm talking about. So I made that one. It took me about a day. It wasn't bad. It wasn't long. And then I'm like, okay, so we have below the Seattle dog. I'm calling the Seattle dog the Bigfoot. Okay, I'm just gonna keep it there because that's what it's hard for me to call my hot dog something else. So we have the Bigfoot, okay, and we have the Yeti, which is the chili dog, because Yetis hang out in the cold and they get chilly. All right, little inside joke that we like to do at Squatch Dogs. So we have those two bases. That's where we're starting. Okay, now we have one underneath of the Bigfoot, which is the Littlefoot. It's just a plain Jane hot dog. Then we have one in between the chili dog and the Bigfoot, which is the El Chupacabra. Okay, then I want to add one on top of the Yeti. And I'm going to call it the Squatch dog because it has to be our staple. Okay, if you have a food business, you always have to have the best thing on your menu be the name of your truck. So everybody's like, oh my god, that's the Mac Daddy. That's like what I need to get because it's the staple. And it's so much more attractive to your customer, and it's so much more like, oh my god, well, I don't know how many times I'm gonna be able to get to eat here. I have to get like the Squatch dog because it's the best thing they have. And you can't get it anywhere else. It's a Squatch dog. You can only get a Squatch dog at Squatch Dogs. So it adds that anticipation, and it adds that like eagerness to go to the top of the value ladder at the very beginning. You don't have to work your way up, and that's the best thing about mobile food is like you don't like if it's a Thai place next to our house, we can go there 4 times, which is good because you have returning customers. But we can go there 4 times and get different things every time and try the whole thing. But if you're going there once, you got to entice them to get the top, whatever's on the top. You got to make it valuable. And something that adds value is just the experience. And the experience of getting the best thing on the menu because it's called the name of the food truck. Obviously, it's going to be the best. So you want to take your customers to the top. And obviously the top, the most valuable, is going to be the most expensive. So that's why you make the most money. Or that's where you make the most money. But we'll go into more tactics and stuff later on. We're going to get into more about the story here. Hold on. Okay, so then after I created that menu, which is, what I just told you, I went and invited a bunch of friends over to my house, and we had a hot dog party, and I just treated it like I was going to like a catering thing. Okay, I set up the cart with the tent, everything, in my parents' yard. Had all my friends come over, everybody that I knew came over, or everybody that I was friends with at the time came over, and I served them free hot dogs, and I did everything on the menu. I had all my steam pans full of stuff, and I was like, that was my first time ever using the cart, and I was good. I was good, dude, and I was surprised. I'm like, dude, I did this in less than 2 minutes, less than 3 minutes, dude. I made a Squatch dog in like 2.5 minutes. That's good. It's not that good. And I know that now. Like, when I'm training people, like, I want a dog out. I want a Squatch dog out every minute. Okay? At least. See, at Stance Wars, I was getting dogs out at the very beginning, my first day, in like 2 minutes. Now we doing like 3 a minute. And that's just me. I can sling, bro. So, yeah, we had a little hot dog party. I had all my friends over. They all loved it, dude. It was like a free hot dog party. It was awesome. Good old time. And I took a bunch of pictures and put them on my applications to events and stuff I sent them to anybody that I wanted to get into their like brewery or whatever. I would take pictures of all my friends lining up like I had a line, and have someone take a picture of it and fake a line, so that these places would believe that I've been around the block a few times, and it worked. That's not fake it till you make it, but like, if you haven't been out yet and you have to convince someone that you know what you're doing, you have to do that. You have to fake it. So that's what I did. I took fake pictures and made people think that I have lines. And then you know what that did? They gave me lines. Because I got in at these good places, and it was a good time. So then the next day, or it wasn't the next day, it was like a couple days after that, I had my first day. Okay, that was an Imbibe Bottle House and Tap Room. And it took me a while to find someone to let me in, because I didn't even have a cart yet. I didn't have a food truck, I didn't have a cart, I didn't have anything, I just had an idea that was on the way. Okay, don't get me wrong, like, I didn't just not have anything. I had a plan, I had a logo, I had business cards. but I didn't have a cart and I didn't have any experience actually vending. And so finding a first location was hard for me because it's hard to like tell someone you are operating and like you want to come do it at their place, but also like you're kind of lying. Like you aren't actually operating yet. You haven't even gotten your cart, but you're telling them that you want to bring it to their place. So it was a little hard for me to find a spot, and I got denied by like 5 people. One of which told me that they don't have food trucks because, or they denied me because first of all, not a food truck, and it would take away from their kitchen. The next week they have some other food truck out there. I'm like, fuck you, dude. Eat a dick. So yeah, first day, I hyped it up. My social media, I tried to hype it up. Nobody, dude. The thing is when you start a business or when you're like doing stuff that is actually like big, like you buy a bunch of stuff and you like tell people about it and you try to like make it high, you like hype it up, like hype yourself up a little bit, hype your business up. You'll really find out who your friends are because people see you and they're like, well, fuck you, dude. Like, you're making me look bad because you're, and like, I'm not gonna support you. I don't want to give you the satisfaction support because I don't want you to feel good because you're making me feel bad. So you find out who your friends are, who your true supporters are, and it's good. It's good to have that happen because you don't want no toxic fake friends in your life. Okay, you want real people. You want people who actually care about you. So you find out, especially in this business, because it's a physical business. People will come out and buy hot dogs, or buy food from you. So you really find out, and my friends who I would never expect to show up and like support me would show up, and the friends who I would totally expect to come support me never did. And then they like just like completely, looked away and didn't even say anything. Even when I saw them, they didn't even say anything. There was one time where a couple of my good friends in high school came through and literally walked right past Squatch Dogs, and just walked inside. And I said something. I'm like, is that blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah? And they're like, hey, yeah, what's up, dude? And I'm like, hey. And then they just went inside the tap room. I'm like, is this on purpose? Is this like oh, we're gonna go pop in there, not even get a hot dog and just like show our faces and just like show them that we don't give a shit. I don't know. Don't really. So yeah, it was awesome. Our first day, we sold over 100 at Imbibe, which is crazy because like we don't go there anymore. No offense, not talking shit about Imbibe, but like we just don't do well at all there, dude. It's just like tap room is on the here, so you can't even turn in if you're in the right lane, and like nobody goes there. Not a lot of people go there, especially for like it's the same. We were there every single week for trivia night and comedy night. And it was. I love the trivia people and I love the comedy people so much, and that's why we kept going back, is because we love the people and they would continue to support us week after week, and it's awesome. That wasn't enough to keep us happy with the money on a little bit. And I was trying to find bigger events because Imbibe wasn't really everything. So I was like, fuck, dude, we have to get into like these, but we have to get into like these bigger things because we need to go where the people are at, and this isn't where they're at. Oh, is that rain? Holy crap. Yeah, it's raining down out here. There's floods out here in Washington. It's nuts out here. Anyway, where was I at? Yeah, so I'm like trying to figure out where else we can go up for this fat ass car show. Literally the biggest one in Seattle. And Seattle's a big ass city. It's supposed to be the biggest one in Seattle, and it's $25 to get into. I'm like, oh my god, we doing it. Got the last spot. I emailed the guy. He opened up a spot for me. And we got into the car show, and I mean, he said, yeah, you bring as much as you can because everybody sells out. And I'm like, okay, that sounds awesome. So I bring like, what was it, like 550 hot dogs, and we up our prices. I make a whole new menu, up our prices, and buy 550 hot dogs. We literally spent like, I spent a lot of money. I like over $1,000, and bought like 550 hot dogs, and we literally, it was my girl, my friend Hunter helped us out that day, and myself, and Ryan Smith. Ryan, what was it? No, there. It was Smith, McKenna. Ryan was on the grill doing buns and putting dogs in the water. I was on the griddle and the steam tables, hopping the dogs, putting cream cheese and onions and bacon bits, and I was doing the rest, doing the dogs, putting the dogs in the bun, or yeah. McKenna was taking money, and Kat was calling out names and giving people their orders, right? So we sold out in by 8:30. We were at the event 5. We sold out in 3.5 hours. We sold 550 hot dogs in 3.5 hours. And it blew my mind. I was literally like doing backflips. Not actually. My back at that time was probably the worst it's ever been. It was horrible. And I mean, I can talk about that later, maybe in a different episode, but like I had back problems, son. And that was the worst day. One of them. Because it was so much fucking work, dude. But we made so much fucking money. And it was sick, dude. It was literally like once we got done with that, I'm like, holy shit, next year, this is all we're doing. And so that was our first big. Larry, the farmer's market manager, came to Imbibe and personally invited us to come to the Maple Valley Farmers Market. Larry's a hell of a guy. Larry's dope. And so we go to this Maple Valley Farmers Market, and it's popping, dude. It's popping, and we're like, holy shit, this is every week? We can do this once a week, dude? This is steady, and it's consistent. And so that's kind of how we end our season. We do a pumpkin patch at the very end. We drove all the way to Fall City and vended in the rain. Beat the hell out of the cart driving it because I didn't have the trailer to put the cart in. And we kind of ended the season off with a little downer situation because it was just like a poop time. And so we reflect on how that season went. And I'm thinking, how can we improve? What can we do next year to upgrade? Well, if we're gonna do a bigger events, like I had an avalanche at the time, or I had my avalanche at the time, and I would stack that thing fucking full, especially for Stance Wars. Oh, dude, it was crazy. I would literally fold the seats down, stack things all the way up it to the top. And I needed more space. If we're gonna do big events like that all the time, we need more space. Either a full-size truck or a trailer. And So we're thinking it's like November, and I'm like, dude, if we're gonna get a trailer, I need to get it now so I can, you know, uh, renovate it and make it all perfect for Squatch dogs in the summer because I need to make sure everything's good. And so we get this trailer. It's parked at my parents' house, and I need to now. I got it for $4,500, which is pretty good. It's a 16 by 8 foot trailer, and it's fat, and it looks badass, and it's white, and it's diamond plate, and it's spotless. Thing's mint. Okay. Now, I'm like, okay, well, I just bought this thing from the money that I made over the summer. And I didn't use all of it, but bought it cash, have the title. Now I need to renovate it so it's perfect for. I can put my brother and I fully electric. It's got 2 double outlets and a single one on the other side. And I got a winch in there to be able to pull the cart into the trailer. Got freaking 3 sets of cabinets and a cupboard or cupboards and cabinets with a tabletop for cutting onions on. And then another drawer. Dude, it's fit. This thing is decked out. And then I put some little cart stoppers, which are just 2x4s to stop the wheels from going up. So it stops the car from going forward, and the cable that's connected to the winch stops it from going back. It fits it literally perfecto. Okay, that's an upgrade. Now, okay, well that's not any more money. I'm just able to do bigger events now. So how can I make more money at these bigger events? And I'm like, well, let me get some of that. Can I do lemonade and hot dogs? Yeah, we have time. We can do that. And so Ben hooks it up, dude, with a free lemon smasher. Freaking dope. I'm like, Ben, my man. And so my good buddy Ben hooks it up with this sexy ass lemon smasher system, this lemonade system. It's got the smasher, it's got the wedger, okay, and it runs on CO2 or whatever you want to run it on. I run it on CO2. And now we have a full-blown lemonade business. We just got to get cups, sugar, lemons, and ice, and water, and CO2. And so I got all of it. I got jugs to put the water in. I got a cooler designated for lemonade ice. I got 2 CO2 tanks, which I only need 1. Realized that. I'm like, oh, well, I need 2 because when 1 runs out, I don't want to have to go shopping for more CO2. Now I have CO2 for another setup this year. And so we brought lemonade to the business. Okay. Now, never done lemonade before. And it's kind of difficult to figure out and learn because I'm not good at like being a barista. That's what my girlfriend's for. But luckily, she's going to be the one that handles it. So I'm not worried about it. So I teach her how it all works. Okay. We then have everything. Okay. And also my buddy Jack, my man Jack, has a decal company. He does. It's Pacific Northwest, PNW. Freaking trailer fitted with decals because it's a fat ass billboard, and I'm gonna fill it up. I'm gonna fill that shit with marketing because when we're driving down the road, I want everybody to know who we are, and it shows, baby. Thing is fucking sexy. It looks so dope, dude. Jack did such a good job on it, and I mean, I designed the entire thing, in Photoshop, and sent him over the things. He got all of them printed. Or all the ones that needed to be printed, he got them printed, had them shipped, and then he used his vinyl cutter at home to cut all the vinyl out. He literally weeded all of the letters. There was so much, dude. There's so much on there. He hooked me up with a good deal. My man Jack, guy's it's a hell of a guy. And so we're upgraded, son, and also signed up for a shitload of more events. We got 4 farmers markets. We got Renton, we got North Bend, we got Maple Valley, and Mercer Island. So 4 days a week, guaranteed. No matter what, we have 4 days. And we are also doing, I think, 8 big events. So not only do we have 4 weekly spots, but we're also doing 8 big ass events throughout on the weekends as well. So when we're doing events in the farmers markets, usually there are also times where they bomb, or the weather just turns out like shit, which sucks. And last summer the weather was garbage. Many times, dude, it sucked. So yeah, we made a lot more money. We did mainly big events and farmers markets, and we killed it. We literally probably 10x'd our business in 1 year because of just changes that we made and upgrading our business. And we're gonna do it all over again this year. We're gonna 10x from last year to this year, or probably like 2x. 10x is a lot. But when you're starting out with so little, like we did in the very beginning, our first summer, it's not hard to 10x. Now it is, because now we upgraded. But upgrading from your upgrade, we're gonna just continue to do that every year. Every winter, we're going to upgrade. So we had an incredible summer. Absolutely incredible, dude. Fucking killed it. It was awesome. Harder than I've ever worked. Guaranteed. Hands down. Never worked harder in my entire life. Literally up all day long, vending hot dogs, and then getting home at 11:30 at night to prep all over again. Cleaning dishes, doing literally like so much work from 11:30 to 2 o'clock, or to just yeah, like a long up at 6:30 and do it again the next day. So not only are you working all day, but then you work all night to then work all day the next day. It's okay. And we did that so many times, dude. We fucking kicked our asses, but that's for sure. And so now this year, I don't want to have to do that anymore. And so we're going to hire people to run our dogs while we prep for it. So I just bought a van, a good old cargo van, and I got a standalone steam table, and I got a portable griddle and grill that I'm going to send with that van. I'm going to get another tent. I'm going to get another lemonade press. I'm going to get more tables. I'm going to get everything for a whole nother business. And we're doing 5 farmers markets this year. But we're going to have someone else be running the van. And it's going to be our first time having employees like running our business for us. So it's going to be really experience, and it's going to be to kind of be working so much, like having to do everything by yourself, because employees at big events, I can leave them there, go prep for working, then go back and help them finish, and then I don't have to go home at 11:30 and have to do dishes, which is fine. So I'm really excited for this summer. It's going to be a massive upgrade once again. Yeah, man. Business is good. Loving it. Always upgrading and always concentrating on being the best that I can be. So yeah, that is a recap of Squatch Dog's business. Yeah, I think I covered it all. I mean, there's obviously, like, I could cover this year or this last summer a lot more, but we are already, like, I've been talking for so long that, like, I'm sure that a lot of people aren't even listening anymore or watching anymore. So, you know, I'll save that for a different time. I just kind of go from where we started to where we're at now, and I think I covered that. So that's it for this Squatch Dogs episode. I'm glad if you're still here that you watched all the way. Incredible, and I appreciate you caring so much. It's nice. So if you did make it this far, clearly you are interested. Go ahead and subscribe, like it, do whatever you got to do to stay updated on when I'm posting different segments and things. So I was gonna do another one tonight, but I'm kind of talked out. I'm gonna be doing a growler hour soon, which is where I kind of just get a growler, a beer, and sit down and talk about plants and all that kind of stuff, and just funny shit to talk about. So yeah, thank you for joining us, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you. Thank you for listening. If you liked what you heard or saw, how about you go ahead and subscribe? We're always here looking for new people to hang out with, and I really like ya. So how about you click that button, do what you gotta do, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.